So before we get into this, the amount of screenshots that I have reminds me why I don't source Facebook for these videos. Cause boy, it's crazy amount of reading I'm gonna have to do. But this is necessary to some extent. So what you were looking at is a post that's viral, that's been up for a day, that got 10K comments, 2K shares, and over 3K likes. And it is a man wearing a shirt that says Black Moms Ruin Sons. Now, let me tell you about me as far as my reaction. When I seen that, I was like, oh, that's bad. That's my initial reaction. That's bad. I'm not going to say that it's not completely true because we all know what it is. I don't have to explain what it is, but I don't think that it's universally true. I don't even think that's true for the majority. I don't even think that's a good stance for real. But it's debatable. It's debatable. But what I knew, because that's my thoughts right there as far as my initial thoughts when I seen it. But the one thing that I did think is, okay, he's doing this for clout, and there are going to be a lot of upset women. So what I did was I rushed to the comments. I rushed to the comments. I looked at his comments, brushed past them to get straight to the anger, and that's where we are going to go. Before we do, let's read his caption. It says, when the sun is with you, who can be against you? I have just finished a 5K run and I feel great. Now let's begin this conversation. And he is flexing the shirt, Black Moms Ruin Sons. Now he has a whole wardrobe with this written on it. He got hoodies, he got all types of stuff. But let's go to the comments. So the top comment is a man saying, I have a black mom and I've turned out fine. Some of you might say that's a simp. I think that that's just a normal statement, a normal defensive statement to some degree, to a slight degree might be coming to, brown nose for him or whatever. You could make that determination yourself. I don't have no problem with that comment because as far as the stance, it's 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 provocative. And he knows that. That's why he put it on all types of shirts. We're gonna go to the next one. Absolutely nothing ruins, black sons more than the absence of their own fathers. We're not reading the rest of that because what happened there? What happened there? Just we look at the situation, we look at the sentence. You were triggered by the sentence. And then just instead of just saying that's not true, I don't agree, we have to just flip it now and just take all accountability off the moms for the way that they raised their sons. We take all accountability away and just go straight to blaming the man. So that's all that is. The next comment says, I wonder if your shirt should say, I feel like my mom ruined me. If you say something general and a hit dog hollers, the hollering is probably going to be a personal attack in a lot of cases. We're going to go to the next comment. You can tell who hates their mom and who wants the world to do so as well. Now, I'm not reading the rest of these. You could just glaze over them. You got one that says, who hurt you? You got another one that says, what are white women offering you? This is extremely feminine and emotional. Da, 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 da. Then you got another one talking about for you to be a black son and you saying it's about moms and your mom, this is crazy work. Da, 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 da. So a lot of people are triggered by this. So really, I didn't read his comments. I still haven't. And I'm going to let the computer read the joints right now just so you can get a gist of what he commented. And hopefully it'll give you some insight on where he was coming from, which we're definitely going to get into that throughout the video.
These hit dogs are hollering, Maya Aaron.
Hey, this AI shit is crazy. It said,
I knew what I was doing when I did it. And instead of trying to ask the question and learn what they need to learn so they can better their sons, they take offense to it so well. Meanwhile, what are black boys reading scores again? How many black boys are prepared to be husbands and fathers? Black moms are literally setting their sons up for prison, and you're mad at me for pointing that out. I love it. I'm gonna keep on going.
And to be honest, it is an undeniable fact that some moms are setting their sons up for prison. Some moms are failing. But I got a lot to unpack, so I'm not going to get too deep on anything. So Here's an even longer comment. Listen, I'm not reading that shit, and this shit won't let me do 2 AI joints during one video, which is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. So you could just pause that and read all of that shit if you want. I'm not reading that shit, bro. Don't worry, we got video of him coming up. So I go to his profile because I'm like, let me figure out what this cat is about. So the first thing I see is him in a tactical vest with the shooting range glasses. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Brown Mike is his name. He has 60K followers, so he has a big following, even though some of his posts don't get that much engagement. It says dad, author, educator, pew pew teacher, meaning he helps with, concealed carry and stuff like that, training or whatever. Anger management specialist. And the last one, child/parent advocate. Child/parent advocate. So when I got to scrolling, this is one of the, posts that he made. It says, I was ignored when I spoke nicely, so I did something to get your attention. We're not even going to read the rest of that. Let's go through some of the shirts that he used to wear and some of the numbers on the post. Those are the things I want you to pay attention to. Kids don't deserve your struggle, 54 likes. Kids don't deserve your struggle, 110 likes. So that's the first one. I am my child's friend, only 20 likes. Then he has this one. It's a long thing. You were more than just a test score, 42 likes. And then when we go to this one, you see what he's racked up. He's racked up 10K comments, 3K likes. So he knocked it out of the park as far as trying to go viral and get this attention. Now, the question you may be asking is the question I was asking. What does he need the attention for? What is he trying to do? Well, the one thing I do want to show is it says that he is a principal instructor at Home Life Skills Workshop for Boys. So he works with boys in the Chicago area. But I got a couple clips from live and him explaining what's going on with all of this.
Right. And they mad at me. And see, the thing is, why would they get mad? They get mad because, you know how I talk about before, the unhealthy need to be needed? Black moms ruin sons is to moms what F the police is to cops. Right? When you say F the police to cops who internally take on the identity of their career for their self-worth, they get offended when you say that because they think you saying F them when you're really saying F the institution, and it's directed at you because you're dressed like the thing I don't like. You see what I'm saying? That's a psychological unhealthy need to be needed. And it's triggering. You see what I'm saying? You should be secure enough to understand that, one, I'm starting a conversation so you could see, well, you know what? You may have something that might be of value. And as a philosopher, what does that mean? A lover of wisdom, which is what moms should be, right? A lover of wisdom. You should be the type of person to say, as a constructivist, Jean Piaget's cognitive development, right? Knowledge builds as we move along, scaffolding, things like that. You should be the type of person to say, you know what? There might be some things that I don't know that I might not be teaching my son. You might have a point here. I'm secure enough to know that I am a mother, right? But I wasn't born a mother. I was born a person who needed skills, and then I became a mother, and motherhood is a career. I don't know everything. I won't know everything. I want to be right, but I can't always be right. Let me get his perspective and try to see what he's saying, because I could be missing something. That's what a secure person would do. You see what I'm saying? Here we go. You inspired me to have this conversation with my child's father. I love you for it. I love you for it. This is just a conversation starter. Black moms, this is not attacking you for being a woman, for attacking you for being a mother. It is not attacking you for being black. No, I'm just stating a material fact. Black moms ruin sons. What you don't teach us, you don't prepare us for the problems that life presents to us. You don't put the dots on our brain so that when life shoves a pencil in our hand, there's a dot to connect. That's all that I'm saying. I'm not saying you're worthless. None of those things are here. I just said black moms ruin son. It didn't say worthless black mom. It didn't say, and here we go. You got some people that even said, what you meant to say was single moms. Single moms are no more of a problem than what would be if a principal walked into a school with 100 kids staring at that principal, and the principal had no assistant principals, no support staff, no resources. You're the principal. All these kids need to learn, but you ain't qualified to teach all this stuff. That is a hell of an anxious anxiety situation to be in. See, the white man can't tell you this because then the white man would be alleged to be racist. The black man can't tell you this because here we go. Here we go. Oh, here we go. I got somebody interacting. This is going to be fun. Here we go. Why is it on women to fix the issue with males in society? Because the male is your son. Like, you brought the male into the world. Right?
Whether you're a single parent or not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't want to fix it, don't have kids. Here we go. You're misogynistic. See, people like this person I block. And see, that's what I'm talking about. How do you detect whether someone is a candle or a gas can? The minute they don't take the time to understand and have the patience for the process of learning. When they throw out labels, that's a gas can. That's a gas can. When the fire of education is coming towards that candle, to light that candle, you have to have the senses to be able to smell whether it's a vapor so that you can extinguish your fire. See, people will sit there and say, don't you let somebody put out your light. You better put out your light. If you're by a vapor, you got to put that light out. And walk out with your torch and light it up at a safe distance. There's nothing wrong with putting out your light to save yourself when you're about to come close to a person who's a can of gas. This person is a can of gas. They're highly volatile. See, I'm a professional gaslighter, but you can't gaslight someone who doesn't have gas leaks. This person sifts of gas leaks. Let me block this person.
No, I'm not going to pull no punches. I'm going to be all the way 1,000 with y'all. So you watch the clips and you basically get what's going on. So he wanted to get the attention with this shirt, right? He wanted to get the attention. He is a parent/child advocate, right? He's in Chicago, so he is, I don't know what side of Chicago, I don't know what part of Chicago, but you know all the BS to be going on in Chicago. The whole, like, black women are ruining their sons, like, that holds very true in Chicago, which we'll get to a little bit later. But he's doing all this to get attention, right, as far as wearing a shirt. When he gets the attention, he says it's just a conversation starter. That's all it is. It's just a conversation starter so you guys can have the conversation and stuff like that. And then he gets on live. The live goes and he says a bunch of stuff as far as a bunch of different points. And he's a guy that is full of knowledge. The one issue that I have with this is he got the attention, but he didn't really have a concise point to drive home once he got the attention. The conversation is not enough. Conversation is just too loose and it's too open to interpretation. And then you were just reacting to what everybody else is coming in saying. This is your opportunity to put a clear, concise message in front of them. And not the conversation piece or the conversation starter. But you could do one or two things. You could either A, provide substance to this. You could provide more substance to this and focus on providing substance to this, not to protecting feelings and saying, you know, it's not all, it's not. You don't got to do that. So that's the first thing. You could provide substance to this, or you could make a overarching point to where you don't have to provide substance for that, but you say something like, you know, parents need to do a better job with their kids. We have all this stuff going on. And when it comes to mothers, when we look at our community, you know, it's overran with single mothers. But even then, even if you were not a single mother and you were still just a mother with a husband and stuff like that. You need to make sure that you were doing your part as far as the parenting and not doing certain things like how he had in the video, like shutting the kid down emotionally and stuff like that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like he could have driven home, like he should have had 1 point, just 1 point, and really continued to drive that home through the live. Just drive it home. Forget a conversation. Conversations ain't gonna get us nowhere for the most part. As far as the black community, we've been talking forever. We've been talking forever, and the talking ain't doing shit. But if you're gonna at least talk, like, you know, because this is a guy that's full of knowledge, just pick one. You got the attention now. Like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example of why you need, if you were like this type of person, why you need a specific point to drive home. And I said I'm not going to pull no punches. The average person is fucking stupid, right? When an average person has a bias, depending on how strong that bias is, that makes him even stupider. Now, take the fact that they are, you know, stupid, a lot of people, and then take the fact that they have a bias, and then you also trigger them, so you make them emotional on top of that. What do you get? You get the type of person that he blocked. She just straight out attacked him, called him a misogynist. Called him a misogynist. You know, I do these videos, and one of the things that I say is like, you know, sometimes I don't read the comments, sometimes I do. Sometimes people disagree with me. I don't get mad at disagreements so much unless it's like really fucking stupid. I keep it a bean with you, but you know, when it comes down to like personal attacks and weird shit like that, you are emotionally triggered when it comes down to you doing a personal attack to any degree. Why don't you just, and this will be the thing, a lot of people, forget even personal attacks. What people will do is they will come in the comments and do straw mans. Like they will watch, they will either watch just a little bit of the video, the whole video, and just make an argument against something that I didn't even say. Make an argument or a point against something that I didn't even say. So they won't argue against a point in the video. Or in a lot of cases, like I'll give you a great example, that video with King 68 the Great. Like a lot of dudes who just swear they get so much pussy and they just demand and they just so cool. They watch just the first half, they get triggered, and then they come in the comments saying, y'all need to step y'all game up. And it's like, you didn't listen to the video. You don't get the point. None of this is saying that the dudes watching this don't have game, or I don't have game, or that we don't get no girls. The whole point is that, listen, if you are going to be buying consultations from somebody who like don't even need game, that's stupid. That's the point. But the point gets missed because Mr. Cool is triggered. So like going back to this, you have to have a solid point to drive home, because, and this is the thing, even with this video, me giving y'all his point and stuff like that, it came kind of, you know, late in the video, even though like it came like probably like 8 minutes in, 7 minutes in, or however 6 minutes in, something like that. A lot of people don't have that type of patience. A lot of people don't have that type of patience. That's why on the King 68 the Great video, niggas make it 3 minutes in and they writing comments. And they don't fully understand the purpose of the video. They are just mad. So when you're doing shit like this on a mass scale to where you're going to be getting a lot of attention, and this is the attention that you wanted, you should be driving a clear message home outside of the conversation starter. You should either provide substance to the conversation starter once you got the attention, or make a bigger overarching point. That's just my opinion. Instead of just combating everybody in the comments and kicking all types of knowledge about how you feel about, like, you know, just the interactions and things, like just get real precise with it and make sure that anybody that tunes into the live, they keep getting the same point over and over. Even if you do begin to interact with other people and like do that. Now, the last thing I'm gonna say as far as black moms ruining sons, it's something I would really have to think about, but I'm not about to, you know, go into the bat cave and like really ponder on it and really, you know, try and figure it out or anything. I'm gonna just give you what I think off top. You know, when you look at the results of what we are living in and stuff like that, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child and stuff like that. I understand as black people, we have been dealt a crazy hand in America as far as not indigenous, that's the wrong word. Foundational black Americans, FBA, we have dealt with a lot for the past 400 or 500 years. That's just what it is. So when you look at that, there's a reason that we are in the hood and we have these circumstances, whether, people on the outside or even some of you are aware or not. I'm not going to get into all of it. It's not that way by accident or just because we like to just be lazy or some shit. No, it's that way by design. Things have been set up over the course of time and oppression has been done to keep us in these places and to keep us in this state. Now, there still needs to be some level of accountability on our actions as far as what we do, because when you hit a certain age, you know better. It's not even that you should, you know better. That's why you see a lot of reformed gangbangers and stuff in they like 40s and 50s, because it's like, bro, this shit is stupid. I even see it in real time as far as like some of these young YN Chicago steppers and stuff like that, or LA gang members and stuff like that. He like, bro, I'm giving my life to a gang, and it's about the program. I done gave so much of my life to this gang, and like, they not giving nothing to me. Like, what am I getting from it? It's a big scam. I seen an actual gangbanger say that, like a young cat who probably like pushing, like he coming close to 30. So he realized that, and he like, and what they do in LA, they do DPs. So for him saying that on camera, it's possible that he had to catch like 3, 5, 10 fades or some shit. But that's what it is. It's really destructive. Like when you were a child and you're impressionable and you get pushed into that shit. Like, yeah, you might think it's the coolest. You don't really have the capability of really understanding the magnitude of what this shit is and how detrimental it is and how it'll never get you anywhere, how it'll never really benefit you. So yeah, going back to the village and stuff like that, let's scale it all the way back. When we look at these situations, man, we could do the whole single mother thing. We could do that. We could do the whole, like, statistics as far as like 80% of the jail or 70%, whatever it is, 70% of people in the jail coming from single mother homes, single mother. So statistically, it has a good failure rate. But the thing is, he didn't say single moms. He said black moms. And even then, there will be some kids who come from good situations, like they live in the suburbs and they have 2 parents in the home, and everything is good, but somehow they still end up in the streets, or they just become, they are unequipped for life when they go out into the world. And when it comes to that, it would be more of a parenting issue. But again, he is highlighting black moms. I don't want to drag it, so I'm going to just put it like this. I'm going to just really cut through the bullshit. If you are somebody who pushes, the father out of the child's life or makes the father have to work, and you are black as a mom, you're a bad mom. And really outside of that, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not going to try and like just go with his stance to make the video work and stuff like that. Like, when we look at the results of a place like Chicago with all the gang banging, all the little gangsters, the YNs and stuff like that, like all of the death, especially amongst the youth. And even then it still goes up into the 30s, and some other people be innocent victims and stuff like that. Just a lot of heartless stuff. And I'm singling out Chicago, but you could really go to any inner city hood area with just high murder rate or anything like that. When you look at areas like that, one of the things that is really big, and this is why I said it takes a village, it's the parenting. It starts in the house. And it's a lot of failures when it comes to the parenting. And when you have a lot of people in the same area failing as parents, you're going to have a lot of failure as far as the environment and stuff like that. And then you're going to have other people in that village who grew up to be failures influencing your kids to be fucking failures and losers and shit like that. And guess what? Those older losers who are influencing your kids, their parents failed them as well, or their mom failed them, whatever the case may be. Now, on his page, I seen him talking about literacy and all types of stuff and et cetera, et cetera. Like, you know, getting kids math tutors and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. Seen him also giving like a kid some advice, you know, or a young man some advice in his 20s, like, you know, get your career together, be an engineer, all types of stuff. So I think ultimately it really comes down to one major thing that I'm going to say before I wrap this up. A lot of people who have kids don't really have a vision for their kid, and they don't have a path to lead them down to that vision. You know, and they don't understand. If they really had a clear vision, they would understand certain things are detours, certain things are traps, certain things you got to keep them away from and stuff like that. I'll give you one good example. When I was growing up, my parents, especially my mom, she didn't want me having no gun toys at no early ages, like none. Now, you could say whether that worked or not. We could speculate about all of that and stuff, and we could speculate if it worked for other kids or whatever the case may be. But it's that type of deliberate action, that type of deliberate shielding that a lot of parents don't do. We talking about black moms and stuff like that. I've seen black and Puerto Rican moms and stuff like that exposing their kids to crazy music. I've seen videos of an abundance of black children singing Glorilla. I understand the era that we live in is crazy. It's not like when I grew up coming out of the 80s into the 90s and stuff like that, when the music wasn't that crazy, and it was crazy, but it was like not an abundance of it, and it wasn't the main thing being pushed. So I understand we are living in a crazier era. But y'all aren't even making an effort to keep these kids as kids. I'll never forget when I was like in second grade, they had a dance when I was in elementary school. And I was so shocked at that age as a boy, whatever age you are in second grade, to see the women the girls, the elementary school girls that I went to school with twerking. It shocked me because I didn't know it was in them. I knew it was some hoochie mama shit. And I was like, who taught y'all how to do this shit? And this is me as a boy. It was just shocking to me. And that's the type of shit to where the parents are failing the kids. Parents are failing the kids. And then it's very important because not only do we have a messed up individual, which is bad, we have somebody that also could be poisonous to society. So, and especially to our community, we have to deal with these people. So with that being said, that's my stance on it. And I guess that's from the conversation that he started with that shirt. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gone.